Okay, picture this. You're stuck somewhere. Maybe it's that endless line at the store, or you're just inching along in traffic that's barely moving. Or maybe you just really need to focus, but your brain feels like, I don't know, a browser with 50 tabs open, and anxiety is just buzzing away in the background. You need to be still, but everything inside feels totally restless. And you're thinking, I wish I could just hit a button and feel calm, like right now. Well, what if you could? What if that button or maybe that tool was actually always with you, built right in? Today, we are taking a deep dive into the really surprising power of visualization, basically using your own imagination as a quick, portable way to shift how you feel and find calm, pretty much anywhere. We've been digging through some interesting stuff for this one, research papers looking at the neuroscience side, articles on practical uses, therapeutic guides outlining specific techniques.
Yeah, and our mission today is pretty straightforward. Let's cut through all the noise, pull out the most practical, useful bits from all this material, and give you some simple, really actionable visualization hacks that, have some science behind them, ready for you to use right on the spot.
Okay, so let's start into it then. When we say visualization, it can sound a bit vague, maybe. Is it
Yeah.
just fancy daydreaming, or
Yeah.
what exactly is it based on what we looked at? And maybe more importantly, why does just imagining something actually work?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And no, it's definitely more than just letting your mind wander off. Visualization, or sometimes it's called guided imagery, it's about intentional imagination. It's actively, purposefully constructing a specific mental experience. It could be an image, a whole scene, even just a feeling. But there's a purpose behind it.
And the research we saw suggests the body and brain react to this intentional mental stuff in some really fascinating ways, right?
Exactly. What's really striking, is how the brain doesn't always make a huge distinction between a vividly imagined thing and a real thing. We saw studies showing similar brain activity patterns lighting up, whether you're, say, watching something happen or intensely visualizing doing it yourself. There was one example that kind of stuck with me. It was about triathletes just watching videos of competitions. Their heart rates, their brain activity, it actually mirrored some of the physical exertion of competing.
Wow. So just the act of vividly imagining a state or like a place can start to trigger a real physiological response.
Precisely. It makes sense if you think about it the other way too, right? Thinking anxious thoughts definitely cues the stress response, makes you feel tense. So logically, if you intentionally focus your mind on peaceful, pleasant images, it can help trigger the opposite, the relaxation response. It seems to help shift brain activity away from those sort of emotional centers that get stuck on worry and more towards areas like the prefrontal cortex, which helps regulate feelings.
It's like you're manually changing the mental channel from, panic network to calm network.
That's a really good way to put it. And if you link it to something physical you're already doing, like your breath, that just amplifies the effect. Intentional breathing, especially focusing on making the exhale a little longer, that's like a direct hotline to your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of your body designed to hit the brakes on stress. So you combine that long exhale with a calming image. You're basically telling your brain and body very clearly, hey, it's safe. You can relax now.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. The core idea is tapping into that powerful mind-body connection using intentional imagery. So knowing that's the foundation, what are some of the specific practical techniques the sources pointed to? How can we actually use this?
Well, one really foundational technique that came up again and again across different approaches is creating what's often called a peaceful place.
Like a mental sanctuary, your own little safe spot in your head.
Exactly that. The whole idea is to mentally conjure up a place where you feel completely, totally safe, comfortable, at ease. And this can be somewhere real. You've actually been maybe a favorite spot from childhood or a beautiful place you visited on vacation. Or it could be entirely made up. A perfect garden that only exists in your mind. Maybe a cozy cabin by a crystal clear lake. Whatever works for you.
But how do you make it feel, well, real, more than just a fleeting picture?
The key is sensory immersion. The sources really hammered this home. You need to engage all your senses, or as many as possible, to make it vivid. Don't just see the beach. What colors jump out? How's the light hitting the water? Is it sparkling? What can you hear? Is it waves crashing, maybe seagulls calling, or perhaps birds singing in a forest, wind rustling leaves? And what about smell? Can you smell the salt water or pine trees, maybe damp earth after rain, or flowers?
And the feeling, what you actually feel there.
Oh, crucially, yes. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. What's under your feet? Is it warm sand, cool grass, smooth stone? Feel the breeze. Maybe you imagine picking up a smooth shell or a soft leaf. What's the texture like? One source even talked about imagining the taste of the clean, fresh air in your peaceful place. The more sensory details you can layer in, the more immersive and grounding it becomes. It really transports you.
I remember reading that detail about the magic shell idea too, imagining you can tell a shell all your worries and just leave them there in your safe place.
Yeah, that's a neat little trick, isn't it? It gives you a concrete, even though it's imagined, way to sort of offload the burden, put it outside yourself. And the beauty of this peaceful place technique is it becomes your mental emergency exit. It's always there, always accessible, always safe, instantly available whenever you need that moment to just recenter.
Okay, so that's the peaceful place. Connecting visualization back to the breath, which you said is so important, brings us to another technique, right? Color breathing.
Exactly. This one's pretty straightforward, but surprisingly effective. First step, find a comfortable position. Sitting or lying down is fine. Then just bring your attention gently to your breath. We already know deep, steady breathing helps calm us down, especially that slightly longer exhale we talked about. With color breathing, you layer a visual element onto that.
Okay, how does that work? You just pick a color.
Pretty much. You choose a color that, for you, represents calm or peace or maybe well-being. Could be a soft blue, a gentle green, maybe a warm sunny gold, whatever feels right. Then as you inhale slowly and deeply, maybe feeling your belly expand, you visualize this calming color entering your body. Maybe imagine it coming in through your nose or the top of your head, just washing down through you, filling you up with that calm energy. Then as you exhale, maybe a little slower than the inhale, you visualize a different color leaving your body. When you associate with stress or tension or worry, maybe it's a murky gray or a tight, angry red, just visualize it flowing out with the breath.
Huh. So literally breathing in the calm color, breathing out the stress color.
That's the essence of it. It gives your mind something simple and focused to latch onto while you're also physically regulating your breath. You're actively pairing that physical act of releasing tension with the visual act of letting go of the feeling tied to it.
Interesting. Okay, shifting gears slightly. A lot of the sources talked about using visualization not just for creating calm, but for getting some distance from thoughts and feelings that feel overwhelming, like externalizing them.
Yes, exactly. That's a core idea in a lot of mindfulness practices and therapies, isn't it? Learning to sort of observe your thoughts and feelings without being totally swept away by them. Visualization gives you some really concrete ways to practice that detachment. So instead of feeling like your anxious thoughts are you start to see them as something separate, something passing through.
Like watching clouds drift by. I think I read that one.
That's a classic. It's a great image. You visualize your thoughts like clouds moving across the vast sky. You see them, you acknowledge they're there, but you don't have to climb aboard and ride them, you just let them drift on by. Other similar images people use are visualizing thoughts like leaves floating down a stream. Or maybe like balloons you just gently release and watch float up and away.
I remember liking the idea of visualizing like an imaginary wall that anxious thoughts just kind of hit. They approach, but they don't actually reach you or get inside.
That's another really useful one, creating a clear mental boundary. Or, if the feeling is really strong in your body, some people find it helpful to imagine the emotion itself, maybe as a color or a sensation, and then visualize it flowing out of their body, maybe out through their hands or the soles of their feet. And another powerful concept with this idea of being transparent, imagining that thoughts, emotions, even difficult experiences just flow through you like wind or water, rather than sticking to you and weighing you down.
It feels like all of these offer slightly different ways to create that crucial space, that distance, to help you realize, okay, I'm having this thought or I'm feeling this feeling, but I am not the thought of the feeling. I'm the one watching it.
Exactly. And in that space, in that distance, that's where you regain a bit of perspective, a bit of control. You get the ability to choose how to respond, rather than just getting caught in that automatic anxious reaction.
Okay, what about techniques that really bridge the mental and the physical? Like using visualization alongside something like a body scan.
Yes, this is a great way to link the mental imagery directly to releasing physical tension, which, let's face it, is where a lot of us hold our stress, shoulders, neck, jaw. So you get comfortable, again, focusing gently on your breath. And then you imagine something soothing entering your body. Maybe it's warm, healing light like sunshine, or maybe gentle flowing water.
And where does it start?
Usually the guidance is to start at the top, like the crown of your head. Then you slowly, mindfully visualize this soothing energy moving down through your body, section by section. You mentally scan through your scalp, your face, softening the jaw, down through your neck and shoulders, letting them drop, down your arms to your fingertips, through your chest and back, your abdomen, your hips, down your legs, all the way to the soles of your feet and your toes. And as this light or warmth passes through each area, you mentally invite any tension or discomfort you notice there to just soften, dissolve, let go.
That sounds, yeah, much more active than just noticing tension during a scan. You're actively directing calm towards it.
It really is. You're combining the awareness you cultivate in a body scan with the intentional direction of visualization. You're actively sending that message of calm and ease to specific spots in your body.
Now, visualization isn't just for hitting the brakes on anxiety when it flares up, right? The sources also talked about using it proactively for working towards goals or positive states.
Absolutely. This is where we get into what's often called creative visualization. It's using that exact same power of intentional mental imagery, but this time to visualize yourself achieving a specific goal, or maybe embodying a quality you want more of, like confidence or patience or just a more positive outlook.
And the key is still making it vivid, like the peaceful place.
Exactly. You don't just vaguely think, oh, I wish I was more confident. You actually visualize yourself in a situation acting confidently. What does that look like? How are you standing? Taller? What are you saying? How are you saying it? Crucially, what does that feeling of confidence feel like inside your body? There was that great example mentioned of Lex Gillette, the blind Paralympic athlete. He visualizes his long jump in intense detail, not just the landing, but the run-up, the takeoff, the feeling of soaring, the excitement, the success. That mental rehearsal is incredibly powerful.
It's almost like you're pre-paving the neural pathways, convincing your brain it's possible, even likely, building that sense of, I can do this.
It definitely seems to boost motivation and what psychologists call self-efficacy, your belief in your ability to succeed.
Yeah.
It makes the desired outcome feel much more tangible, more real.
Okay, one last area. We talked about engaging senses. One source specifically highlighted music as a way to give the brain a break, a reprieve. How does music fit in with visualization?
Yeah, music or really any intentional sound can be a fantastic anchor or even an enhancer for your visualization practice. You could, for example, combine your peaceful place visualization, say, imagining that beach with actually listening to recorded ocean sounds, or bird song, if you're imagining a forest. Or if you find certain types of instrumental music really calming, you can simply play that while you visualize, or even visualize the music itself flowing through you, washing away stress. If you play an instrument, visualizing yourself playing can also be a really effective mental shift.
So layering the senses, visual and auditory, makes the whole experience even more immersive, more powerful.
Definitely. It creates a richer, more absorbing mental experience. It pulls you more fully into that calming imagery and, just as importantly, pulls your attention away from those looping, anxious thoughts.
Wow. So we've actually covered a really surprising range of techniques here, from creating that full sensory escape hatch, the peaceful place, to the focused simplicity of color breathing. Different ways to get distance from tough thoughts, using visualization for body awareness and tension release, even proactive creative visualization for goals, and layering in sound. And the constant thread, the really empowering part, seems to be that these are designed as quick hacks, things you can genuinely use anywhere.
That's the incredible accessibility, isn't it? Your imagination doesn't need Wi-Fi, it doesn't need batteries, it goes wherever you go. You can genuinely do some of these techniques for just 1 or 2 minutes. In a bathroom stall, before a meeting, while you're stopped at a red light, sitting in a doctor's waiting room, or just at your desk when you feel that stress creeping up. Of course, consistency helps you get better at it, makes it feel more automatic. But even a single focused attempt can provide real relief in the moment.
What about people who find it hard? The sources mention challenges like difficulty creating clear images or the mind wandering off constantly.
Oh yeah, very common. And the material is pretty reassuringly practical about this. If conjuring up a whole complex scene feels overwhelming at first, start super simple. Just visualize a single calming color filling your awareness. Or maybe a single simple object, like a smooth, warm stone in your hand. And when your mind wanders, because let's be honest, that's just what minds do. The key is not to get frustrated or think you're failing. Just gently, without judging yourself, guide your attention back to the image or back to your breath. It's a practice, like learning any skill, not a performance test. So Yeah, be patient with yourself.
That's such a good reminder. It's a skill that builds over time. And there was that really critical note you highlighted from the sources regarding past trauma.
Yes, absolutely vital to mention that. For anyone who has experienced significant trauma, diving into visualization techniques, especially vivid ones, is really something that should ideally be explored carefully, perhaps with the guidance of a qualified mental health professional. For some people, certain kinds of intense imagery could potentially, inadvertently, trigger distressing memories or feelings. Safety always has to come first.
Absolutely. A really crucial distinction to make. Okay, so pulling this all together, visualization isn't just fluffy daydreaming. It's actually a pretty potent intentional tool. It leverages that mind-body connection we talked about to directly influence your state, offering these mental sanctuaries, ways to get distance from overwhelming thoughts, and techniques that tie calming images right into your breath and physical
And
sensations.
the best part, you carry this toolkit with you absolutely everywhere. Your imagination is always online, always ready to be used.
It really does underscore that idea. I think it was from Amit Ray. If you want to conquer the anxiety of life, live in the moment, live in the breath.
Right. And when you think about these visualization tools we've been discussing, fundamentally, there are all ways of anchoring yourself in a chosen moment, aren't they? Often by focusing on the breath or a specific sensory experience happening right now, even if it's just in your mind.
So building on that, on living in the moment and using these intentional visualizations as a kind of bridge to get there, here's something to think about. How might consistently weaving in these simple, brief moments, just using your mind, your breath, this tool you already have, how might that fundamentally change your daily experience of stress? Not just coping with the big flare-ups, but maybe shifting your whole baseline, helping you actually inhabit the present moment a little more fully, a little more often. It's definitely something worth experimenting with, wouldn't you say?